Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Ram from Sparkling Memories, a place where you can build in terms of improving your relationship with food, peers, and yourself. And today's topic we're going to talk about is how to deal with your emotions. The first thing you want to do when it comes to emotion is to identify your emotions. Whether it be happy, sad, angry, frustrated, in between, unsure, curious, so many different emotions to deal with, right? So how do you deal with your emotions? You got to first identify what they are, why you feel the way they do, what you can do to make it better, make it a positive one, right? Now, after you identify your feelings, you have to express them, which means not hiding your emotions. If you feel a certain type of way, you should be able to express that. Some people might be in a healthy way, and some might do it unhealthy. One of the main reasons you want to not hide your feelings is because we suppress things literally and then it opens up. It's kind of like similar. Say for instance, you had like a bag, right? And you put all these things in the bag, and then the next thing you know, boop, the zipper is gone. Why? Because you compress all these things into the bag. And then one last thing, one last pair of shoes, one last pair of shirt or socks you put in that bag and go poof, zipper went. Why? Because you compress everything and then it does explode. It's kind of like if you had like a carton of milk and you had it in the fridge too long and it starts to swell. And then when you do open it, it has this boisterous odor and you're like, oh, that milk is not good. Same thing happens with your emotions. Your emotions have to be something that you see, you recognize, and you identify, and you actually say, okay, I feel this way. Don't hide your feelings. Say exactly what you feel. And don't be mad because it's something that people say, oh, it's not okay. Yes, it is. Okay? Because mad is an emotion, just like angry is an emotion. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with having emotions. Something might be a little bit off if you don't have emotions, okay? Because now you actually in your mind and you're contemplating what to do and what's going on. Not a healthy thing to do. I wouldn't advise it, and you probably shouldn't get into it either. Now, another thing you want to do is take your time out to feel why you feel the way you do. If I say I am angry, I need to identify first, yes, this is the emotion I'm identifying with. I'm going to express it by either saying I'm angry, I might pout, I might roll my eyes. I expressed it. Now, another thing you want to do is understand why you're angry. You will go back and see exactly what your triggers might be or what might have gotten you to that stage, because not a lot of us going to just stay here and just pop off the handle right off the top without something triggering it. I mean, some people, they already have things stacked up and they're not realizing that this is a trigger and this is literally a cherry on the top and you just went whoop, overboard. And then your emotions came out and it came out like an explosion. You literally went to the left. Now, another thing you want to do is take action. Take action means I am going to express myself. I'm going to tell somebody off. Or I'm going to tell someone how great an experience that is. Or I'm going to get to a stage whereas saying it and doing things that telling you that I feel that type of way. Some people might slam a door. Some people might hug you. You happy, you might hug somebody, kiss them on the cheek. No, that's showing your emotion. Now, the thing is, if it's negative, it is very much possible that people are so used to the negative stuff that they recognize it right off the bat. And if you're nice and you're not always nice, they might think you're being sarcastic and you're trying to be something that you're not, which is not necessarily the case. Another thing you want to do is when you get to a point where you start to think negative, you want to shift your thinking into positive thinking. Positive thinking helps in the long run. Whether or not you're in a workplace, you're at home, or you're somewhere that is not just you, being in a positive space makes things so much easier. That energy that you give off is going to be something that people would notice. Another thing you want to do to deal with your emotions is if you don't want to deal with them by yourself, or you think it is too much to deal with, you could either hire a therapist, you can literally talk to your family, friends, and you could talk to your neighbors or someone that you feel you have trust in them. Then that's one way of dealing with emotions. Now, if you are an introvert or you're somebody who likes to be by themselves, then another way you can deal with that is by exercising. You get up, you jog, you walk, you swim, you go driving, go to your favorite restaurant or bar, and you do an activity that you actually don't enjoy that can take your mind from where it is into another phrase. Because you could be in a nice place, but if you're in a wrong frame of mind that's not exactly a positive one, then it might be very irritating to express yourself. Emotions is something that we all deal with, and it's not something that is a bad thing. Dealing with emotions is it could be a very touchy subject, depending on what it is. Because the wrong thing to the wrong people at the wrong time can cause it to go to the left. And that might not be what you want to do. You want to stay in a positive energy. Positive energy, which means you talk to people in a certain type of way. You talk to people according to how you want to be spoken to. Now, with the emotions is something that we express, whether it be verbally, whether it be a physical. There's so many different ways of expressing yourself. One of the main reasons you want to take time out to understand these feelings is because we're dealing in a time when everything is confusing, okay? It is confusing for those that are not knowledgeable, those who are upset, those who are dealing with other things that besides what they see in the news, and who are literally dealing with things within their own neighborhood and their own life and their lifestyle. We deal with things one day at a time. One person can change a whole lot and start things. We've seen that on the news. We've seen that it gets to a point whereas we're expressing ourselves a lot more different because we're expecting to get some type of results. That's another reason why you should express yourself. Now, if you choose to be quiet, that's okay. Being quiet is another way of making things happen and making things comfortable. You have to be in that frame of mind to deal with certain things, because if you're not in that frame of mind to deal with certain things, your emotions can really get you in some serious problems. And believe in me, I know about problems when you deal with emotions, that anger, or when you're like overly happy. There's so many things that happen when you're overly happy. So you need to actually understand what your emotions are, why you feel the way you do. And I talk about self-care in my website, sparklingmemories.com. I also have a handbook. You can actually look that up. And I also talk about relationships, because if you have a positive relationship with food, your parents, and yourself, then everything will be fine. And what you can do with and you can understand, it's okay to seek help behind, whether it be through somebody that you are close with or somebody that you trust, because there's one thing that is certain: we all have emotions, and expressing them the right way can get us much farther versus if you do it the wrong way and they end up in problems and drama and issues. Because one person can get to a point where the emotions can do something simple as turn someone off. Okay? A prime example. Say for instance, you're going into a job interview and you get all dressed up and you all dolly up. You have on your nice suit, you have on some cute shoes, you have your new bag, you did everything, put on your makeup, all that great stuff. You go into a place and you suddenly see people that are not of your skin color, or you certainly see someone who doesn't say good afternoon when you walk past, or you come into an area whereas it wasn't quite what you seen. It seems like a nice place until you actually went behind the scenes and realized this might not be for you. There's several different reasons why people might click and their personality change and the attitude change towards the situation that they put themselves into. Expressing your emotions. Now, the person comes into our office and it says, "Good morning." Simple, right? Now, imagine that no one says it back. Now, she can do two things. She can either smile, brush it off, and keep walking, and go to the receptionist or the person that greets you at the front desk. Or she can choose to say it again and look around to see if anyone responds. And then she can literally say, well, the hell with that. Now, that I would say would be a negative way of dealing with that type of situation. Not every fight that you're invited to, you should actually participate in. There are many things that might not be in your best interest. A negative attitude and perceptions and doing things out of character is not a good thing, especially in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's why when it's seeing all these things are going around, people have mixed emotions because they don't know how not to step on someone else's toes or to insult someone else or be considered a racist or consider someone who's a sellout or someone who's not participating in this type of activity. There's all ways of dealing it. You deal with it the most mature way you know how, and to do it in such a way that you understand why you feel the way you do. We all have emotions, and to think that we don't and why we don't, that's another issue all by itself. Till next time, this is Missy Taram from Sparkling Memories. Bye-bye.